in turn quote? Do we have scores? So Swastika says yes, and then she says no. Okay, y'all are confused about this. You do have scores for transition. So if a person has really good transition and smooth transition from for to against, you are obviously marked higher. So make sure that you have a really nice transition from for to against to probably try to make it, creative, something that signifies that you're going to go ahead and have, you have a shift in what your opinion actually is. So just make sure that you're basically making sure that everything that you're doing in your speech is actually perfect. So your introduction, your for the motion, your transition, against the motion, and conclusion, all of them should be based on how we have taught you about it. But then secondly, I think the reason as to why all of it is marked is because I think clear instructions have been given to you. And whoever is saying no negative marking, no negative marking essentially is nothing, because I think insofar as you don't fulfill your roles and things that you have taught to you, I think they are going to reduce your score. So there is negative marking if you do something wrong. So try to do everything right. But again, try to memorize your speech. By I think by this time you should have your speech written or typed, and you should have and you should start remembering the speech. By tomorrow afternoon for sure you should have like a full by-hearted speech ready, followed by again you can continue to practice, etc. So you should by afternoon know what is the time of your speech, is it coming to 3 minutes or not. So that is about that. So let's go to the training. I'm gonna share screen and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna reiterate the entire for 5th May, and then we're gonna go ahead with the practice. Whoever is saying what is transition, transition is basically the middle part of your speech. In turncoat speech, within 3 minutes, you're supposed to speak introduction, for the motion, against the motion, and conclusion. But when you shift from for the motion to against the motion within the same speech, you need to have transition lines. For example, panel, forget everything that I said in the last 1 minute. I'm now going to tell you as to why, the opposite. So what you're doing here is essentially transitioning, which is again moving from for to against. And when you're moving from one thing to the other, you need to give transition lines. So that's what transition is. Yes, it is okay if your speech is 2 minutes 50 seconds. All right. All right, then let's start. I want all of you all to keep your hands on the chat box so that we can quickly make arguments and everything. All right, then. I welcome you all to day 3 training session of UPSTL 2024. And then this is again your theme, your topics have been already given to you. I think I wanted to clear one thing, and I think this is specifically about your schedule. Turncoat students are supposed to join day after tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. because we take attendance, and attendance is really necessary for all of you all to show us that you are present and you're going to give your speech, so that we can actually move you to the room that you're actually allocated in. So the judges don't wait for you longer. Again, you're going to have your briefing, your attendance, and then you're going to have round 1 of turncoat. So what you can do, so your turn can come anytime between 9:30 to 10:30 based on how the judges call you. But once your turn is over, if you want to leave the call, you can. Otherwise, if you want to stay and listen to other speeches, you can listen and probably learn from their speeches as well. So you will be speaking for 3 rounds, and I know that you have same motion and same topic for 3 rounds. But if you want to do some, mendings based on what the judges tell you or the feedback that judges give you, you can always do so. But then if you want to if you want to remember, because I think remembering 3 minute speech is a difficult task, which is why we did not give you 3 topics or 2 topics. We gave you 1 topic. Research well on that topic, do justice to the topic and remember the topic and the entire speech. Give the and basically recite that speech in front of the judges in all 3 rounds. Again, I think there is the idea is that when we have panel of 3, essentially different judges tend to have different opinions on the same speech. So we want you to give the best exposure to different judges and the best feedback from different judges on the same speech, again, essentially to make sure that the marking is actually fair. So having said that, after 1:30 p.m. you can have your lunch and you can basically you will be done for the day if you're not participating in Asian parliamentary debate. So this is your topic, practice topic for Turncode. Now, essentially what we're going to do is we're going to discuss arguments for the motion and against the motion. And we're also going to discuss how we can possibly transition for this motion. Again, I can't give you like a sample for the topic that is already being given to you about globalization, because again, I think that's going to be unfair for other students. So we're just like taking different topics, so we are basically able to understand concepts well. All right. But before that, how many of y'all have prepared your speech, like completely typed or written speech for your Turncode rounds? In like just
Ma'am, please little bit slow.
I will.
Miss, can we use our laptops to go on like and read? Can we read from a laptop?
If you read, your scores are going to be reduced. So you can refer, but you can't continuously read your speech.
Excuse me, ma'am, what are two topics coming for that?
Two topics.
One
There
topic.
is only one topic for junior category, and the junior category topic is that globalization does more harm to the economy of developing nations. That has already been shared multiple times on the group, so we'll probably share it again for your reference.
Excuse me, ma'am, there's one question I need to ask. Our motion is globalization has harmed the economy of developing nations, right? So
Yes.
first is the introduction thing, what we're going to do. And then we have to speak for it. That means that, yes, that globalization, the negative effects of the globalization, right?
Correct, yes. And then
we have to tell the positive effects of globalization and then the conclusion. I hope that's right.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you so much.
Okay. All right then. Are we ready to practice then? Let's start practicing. Yes, the real topic is globalization. Okay. Huh?
No, I'm just saying we posted the topic on the group also. Okay,
Yeah.
all of you, we want you to try a little bit of practice with us. Is that okay? Or Afin, maybe if they have a few questions, we could just
Yeah,
spend.
I mean, we can take the questions first and then we can do the practice. That's all right with me. Damian, do you have a question?
So can we quickly, all of us, post all the questions that are coming to our minds in the Zoom chat? Yes, Abhyan, the round will be only on the Zoom room. Yeah, Afin, just go ahead and just answer the questions. Maybe we'll settle them there.
Excuse me, miss.
All the questions about can we read from paper or laptop? Remember, it is a public speaking event where you're supposed to memorize your speech. You have only one topic, which means at least memorize the speech that you're going to write for that one topic, because you're going to give that speech 3 rounds. So memorize your speech. It is a public speaking event for a reason. So memorize it. Sure, you can have probably like cards, and then you can probably refer to it once in a while in case if you forget or something, but do not rely on the paper, because oftentimes when we keep papers on our hands, we tend to look at them, and then again your manner score is going to be reduced. Try not to read from paper.
Excuse me, ma'am, all the 3 rounds will be in the Zoom meeting only.
Yes.
Miss,
Yes,
will
Sunny,
you be asked to type
Semi-
our argument because it
going
gets
to be-
tiring?
Can you please put it in the chat box? So semi-finals is not going to be online, it's going to be offline. The topic is not going to be given on the spot. We will release the topics for you for semi-finals as well. Guys, don't get too much bothered about semi-finals right now. I think your aim should be right now to qualify, and in order to qualify, you should ask questions about qualifiers rounds. There are no POIs in TC.
Excuse me, miss.
You can put it in the chat box. Put it in the chat box. Put it in the chat box. So Atharva says, can we speak the same matter? Yes, you can. Ma'am, will the same semi-finals go? I think you all have to stop spamming the same questions in the chat box. I have told you, do not care about semi-finals right now. Oh, so anything that you're asking about buzzer, let me tell you about this. So I'm going to give you a practical as to how it's going to look like. I'm going to stop sharing for a bit. So I think that's a really good question, and thank you for putting it up. So here's what the judges are going to do in your room. The judges are going to basically share their screen, and you will be able to see this, okay? And then the timer will start. So for example, I'll say, hi, my name is Afreen. I'm from XYZ school. I'm in XYZ class. I'm going to start my speech in 3, 2, and 1. The judge is going to start the timer. And then you can see exactly, and the judges can also see. So everybody in the room can see this. So you essentially know, and it's visible. So timing, like any sound for this. So the moment it reaches 30 seconds, we know that your introduction should be over. Again, it could be a little bit above and lower. So lower is better. So if it is 20 seconds, it's okay for you to start your 4. But yeah, so judges can see your buzzer, like the judges and you can see your timing like this. So exactly at 30 seconds, you know that you're supposed to start 4. Nobody's going to continuously remind you that you're supposed to start this and that. So remember about this, that the timing is very transparent. You all see it. And just remember that you're going to see it for 3 minutes, and then after 3 minutes 15 seconds the judges are going to do this, okay? Or they're just going to tell you that you need to stop your speech, because after that they're not going to listen. They're not going to take note of what you're saying. So at 1 minute mark, you will basically know everything. So you will know when it's turning 3 minutes as well. Essentially, buzzer is done because in offline events, when you can't see the timer by yourself, because like, a lot of people are there. So in online events, you can see the timer. So we don't do buzzer, we do this share screen of timing. I hope this is clear. So this is how timing is going to be done. Yes, the speech can be 2 minutes, 50 seconds. Okay, I'm going to generally just understand your timings can be 15 seconds above or lesser. That's all right. So 15 seconds is a permissible limit. So if it is, let's say 2 minutes, 45 seconds, it's all right. If it is 3 minutes, 15 seconds, it's all right. So 2 minutes, 40, 50 seconds, completely all right.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, suppose the child is saying a quote in the starting, and after that, he or she is giving the intro and says, like, my name is XYZ, and then he continues the speech. So, would the timing be counted from the very starting instant wherein he is saying that quote, or once he
Yes.
gives her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Miss, will you be asking us to type for everything, even while the practice, like our arguments, ma'am, because it gets tiring?
No, so what I want to do is basically, I want to see which arguments are nice, and whoever has great arguments, I'm going to give you the chance to speak, because I can't let everyone speak. It's just not going to end in 30 minutes, right?
It's going to
Okay.
end in like 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay, let's start
Miss,
the practice.
I have a question, Miss. Could you just tell the motion for the turn code for the 5th, just to clarify?
Yes. So I'll just again read out from the exact wordings. So Anjali ma'am has sent you on the WhatsApp group at 5:41 the exact motion. I'm going to read it. Globalization has harmed the economy of developing nations. Okay.
Okay, Miss. Thank you.
Great. All right then. I'm going to share screen again, and then we're going to start preparing for the.
Ma'am, the qualifier round will be on Zoom.
Yes.
Ma'am, when the timing for this
Timing is already shared in the text. I will share the schedule again. I'm going to share screen, and then you will be able to see.
Ma'am, the topic of the Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Okay.
when are we going to get the results for the first round?
First round as in 5th May.
Yes.
So we will
Ma'am,
try to
we
make it
want
as soon as possible, but don't worry, we'll try to give it.
Excuse me, ma'am. Are we going to speak, ma'am?
Okay, everyone, keep your mics muted. We are
Ma'am,
gonna-
I want to ask something, that how many minutes are there in the round?
How many minutes are there in the round, as in?
Ma'am, you have said that 3 minutes are there.
Correct,
So,
yeah. Yes.
Ma'am,
so
I have one question. Me, ma'am, in introduction, we have to tell our school name also.
if you want to, yes.
Ma'am, all 3 rounds will be online.
All 3 rounds will be online. Yes. Can you guys keep yourself
Ma'am?
muted?
And
Well,
the
everyone,
Since we have only 10 minutes
listen,
left,
everyone,
can you
is-
jump to the mock session and block the questions, please? Since we have only 10 minutes left.
Yes. Everyone stop. Okay. I'm gonna move towards this. So the motion for you all is news media should be impartial. We're gonna discuss one argument from for the motion and one argument against the motion. I've written 5 minutes, but you don't have 5 minutes anymore. You have 2 minutes. If you have, so let's start with for the motion first. And I want all the arguments that you have for the motion in the chat box.
Huh?
I'm gonna give the chance to whoever has the best argument.
Oh,
Miss, you have to send it to you privately.
No, you can send it to everyone.
अभी मेरी है
Excuse me, ma'am.
Okay, don't use like, okay, everyone, whenever you're making arguments, at least try to see what language you're using. Don't use the language sticking their nose in any case. There are better ways
Miss,
to articulate it. Yes, Arun.
Miss, what's the motion? Could you please say
I
again?
typed it in the chat box.
The fuck? Yeah, and
Arun.
excuse me, ma'am, are all the 3 rounds going to be online?
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
What is this about, Mishika?
My question is that we want to speak the same speech in all the 3 rounds.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Ma'am,
Siren.
when I will know that my turn has come?
Everybody has to type it in the chat box. So I'm going to look as to whose argument is best, and then I'm going to give you the chance to speak. Everyone, okay.
Ma'am, in competition.
Oh, okay. So in competition, the judges are going to invite you. They will call your name and then you would know. Also in the chat box, we're discussing about the topic that I posted, which is news media should be impartial. So do not tell me your arguments for globalization.
oh no.
It's okay. It's okay.
Ma'am, what does impartial mean?
Not being biased. So you're supposed to give equal weightage to everything. For example, if there is a government policy or law, I wouldn't essentially make it to say that, these are the harms or these are the benefits. I will try to make it like objective, not
partiality
opinionated.
can be between liking a chocolate flavor or a vanilla flavor. I'm partial towards a chocolate flavor because oh, just put yourself on mute.
Okay, Anya. Anya,
So Afrin, where are
is Anya there? Can you please unmute yourself? I think
you
Anya,
giving co-host rights?
yeah, I don't think I will be able to give it because I don't have the
Yes,
Let me
ma'am.
check.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Can you explain your argument? I think it's really good.
Ma'am, actually, my name is Ayana. I
No,
got a
I
bit
meant
confused.
Anya. I meant an Anya. Anya is also there.
Bottle तो छोड़ जाओ पानी पीना होगा.
Okay, everyone, keep yourself muted.
And give me co-host.
अभी पूछो.
I'm trying.
Ma'am, it should be impartial in the positive and negative way to see, ma'am, the society's reaction and how both the society's reaction in a positive and negative way.
Okay, Swastika, or can you also elaborate your argument? I think it's really good.
Yes, ma'am, I'll do it.
Sure. You can verbally do it, like you can speak.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Ritika, if you're for APT, can you please like wait and we will deal with your questions later.
Ma'am,
Afrin, try co-host.
I'm not able to give it to
excuse me,
you.
ma'am.
Put
Can
your
I my topic now?
Yes, sure.
Ma'am, it says that it promotes trust when the news is fair, we can trust it. And if you hear something from a news source that always tells the truth, you feel more confident about what's happening in the world.
Yes, that's correct. So you told us what the idea about news media is and why we need to make it partial. Great. Then
Ma'am, read my topic. I didn't do it. Excuse me, ma'am.
so I think the Neil, your argument is going to be that it is crucial for journalism, and that's the argument. You don't need to spend the extra time in proposition and all of that. So argument heading is that it's crucial for journalism, and explain why journalism essentially stands for giving accurate information, fair information, so that individuals are able to make informed decisions. But that's a really good argument. Good job.
Ma'am, I can't understand anything.
That's okay, Aruj. I'm going to give you another example that you can think about it very simplistically. So, turn code, you're going to tell us for the motion and against the motion. So, let's take the chocolate example once again. That I can think that I like chocolate because.
Ma'am,
Completely change my word and then go ahead and say, hey, listen, I don't think I should have chocolates because it spoils my teeth. Right? So you are going to introduce what you think about chocolate, what you why you think you should have it, give an interesting transition. And that's the point Afrin ma'am was saying, that give a transition. And I saw some very interesting transition examples, like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I want to change my mind. Right? And I sort of say, okay, why I don't like chocolate. And then I conclude with a balanced opinion. Okay? So just follow that format. Ki aap apni 3-minute speech mein you will say both sides. Is everybody okay with that?
Ma'am, I can't understand anything.
Okay, then you give me a ping later on my number.
Ma'am,
Ravya, everybody on the chat, please. Chat box mein dalo.
I'm going to show you guys now an argument from one side to the other. So here's the argument for the motion. So for the motion, we can say that news media should be impartial, as it should give the real and authentic facts to public rather than opinions or value judgments. Now, why it is necessary, and people who weren't able to understand what impartiality is. So essentially think of your teacher, and how would you feel if like your teacher is probably favoriting like is favorable to one person and not favorable to others. So for example, she's not, or like they're not treating everyone in the class equally, has a favorite. So that is called partiality. So should news media be partial, or should news media be not partial? That is the debate about. So on proposition, we're saying it shouldn't be partial. It should treat everything equally, which means, if an information exists, we should give it the way it is rather than giving our own opinions and value judgments on it. Because essentially, if I say as news media channel that, what, these are the issues with this policy, or this policy is likely to have these impacts or these benefits, and like probably not showing the other side of the policy. That shows that I'm probably either supportive of the government or against the government. But the idea about news media is not to show what their opinion is, but for individuals to be able to make their own opinions based on the facts that you give to them. And that is the explanation of the argument. Against the motion is news media should be partial, as plain facts given to facts is less appealing, and hence people would watch news. I see an argument in the chat box which was about, attracting people and like audience. So essentially, if the idea about news media channels is to be able to make money, I hope you all know that like news media channels essentially make money through like advertisements, to the amount of TRP that they get, the amount of watch time that they get, and so on and so forth. So if that is the way how they get their money, and they make money to probably give salaries to their journalists or to the research team and all of that, they also need money, which means if they simply give impartial facts, it's not going to garner attention from the audience, which is again bad, because again they won't be able to earn any money. That is the argument against. Now I'm going to give you
Afrin, I just want to recap the essentials for tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
But like one last thing though, transition.
Fine.
How can you actually transition? This is a transition example again, one last example. So ignore what I said in the last 1 minute. It was clearly partial information. Let me tell you the other side of the news, which proves that partial
Excuse me, ma'am.
news is
Don't
actually
speak in
beneficial.
middle.
Yeah, do not speak like that. Okay, that's pretty much it for Turncoat. You can tell whatever you were doing.
So think about it like this. Transition very simplistically says, how do I change my mind?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Right? How do I sort of change my mind from one side to another is the way you will transition. Okay, so with that, what we will do is we've done one little quick motion as an example. And the important part is that you all focus on preparation of your speech. You all know that it is going to be 3-minute speech. Yeah, correct? Okay, and you all know that you're going to be doing 3 rounds with the same speech. So you have enough time to have prepared for it. I want you to focus on that. One of the I want to update the students here is that it's very important to follow the exact number of times. So Afrin, do you have the slide right now? Timing, introduction, certain time period, the form of slide.
Yes, sharing it.
Just sharing that. So you must realize that all of you will do a great job on researching, right? We know that you have the time, we gave you enough time to research. So you will have a lot of matter. You must go in front of the mirror and practice reading out your speech. That if you've not practiced, if you're not read your speech, it'll look like this on the screen. You'll be reading like this, which is what ma'am is saying, that you shouldn't be reading out your speech like this. Use it as a reference. So take a printout, practice it on the mirror.
Miss, I sent you my speech.
Are you able to load it, Afrin?
Yeah, it
Yes,
is.
I can like 2 parts because there's a specific word limit. So
I just want to make sure that you all please follow the structure. So when you practice and when you time yourself, don't do less for the motion and more against the motion. Like I took the chocolate example right now, right? If I'm telling you why I should have chocolate, and I gave you 2 examples, then I should do why I shouldn't have chocolate, 2 examples as well. So just keep that thumb rule in mind, because this is what we realize that children tend to miss out. You don't want to lose marks on that, right? Or rather be indicated. So with that, I'm just entering the students who are there for the debate team. Students, any other doubts that are very hyper urgent, what we will do is we will circulate something called a debate guide.
Bye, miss.
Good job, Arun. I think
Bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Excuse me, ma'am.
I have a question. Bye, miss.
Bye-bye.
Ma'am, Turncoat have to go.
Ma'am,
I have a
question.
Ma'am, Turncoat students have to go.
Bye, ma'am. You have to go.
Turncoat
Ma'am.
people.
Yes.
Turncoat.
Ma'am, how can I do transition
just one
in my
second.
speech?
So just 1 second, stay on the call.
Ma'am, third code people have to go.
Yes. Is this connection, Afreen, is this connection breaking?
Freed, ma'am. I miss.
Oh, just we are.
Bye bye.
Excuse me, ma'am. Okay, bye, miss.
Ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Arin, I read your speech. It is good.
Ma'am.
Afreen, are you able to hear?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Anjali, ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
So just yes.
Like for example, in round 1, I told a speech, and in round 2, I made a different speech, and in round 3, I did a different speech, but it was on the same topic. Is that okay?
That's okay.
Ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
All right. Bye, everyone. All the best. See you guys.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Thank you. Excuse me, ma'am.
Namaste, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Ma'am, will we get all the rounds marks will be excluded or only the best of 3?
No,
Ma'am,
all
how
the
can I
will be
Okay,
excuse me, ma'am.
everyone be on mute. I won't be able to listen to all of you all if you speak together, right?
Bye, ma'am.
Ma'am,
I
will
require
it
all
will be
the
the
marks.
best of 3 or all the marks will
No,
be
it's going to be all the marks.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Tyra, what is it?
Ma'am, all the rounds are for 3 minutes or only 1?
Yes, it is 3 minutes.
Each round is 3 minutes,
Yeah,
Sarah.
each
ma'am.
round.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. I want everybody to be on mute for a second. All turn code students, you can leave the call.
Ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Afreen, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You have rights to mute. Just mute all for a second. Okay. I'm just quickly calling out the names that shouldn't be here on the call. I want only APD students over here or people who are there in EPD and TC. Okay. So Ravya, Zayed, please leave the room right now. Shania, you can also leave. Okay. And Afreen ma'am is.
Excuse me, ma'am.
No, please don't speak out of turn. Zayed, I just told you that. Right? Okay. Afreen, we just have 2 students from TC over here in the call. Okay.
Yes,
I
seems
think
like.
you've got your EPD teams now. You can start. Zayed, just put your question on the chat box. I'll just address it.
All right. Hi, everyone. We're going to start mock session for APD. Essentially, what we're doing in the mock session is going to be us trying to understand and like learn how to make arguments. Last session, I told you 3 parts of argument. Can anyone reiterate in the chat box as to what are the 3 parts of an argument? Chat box, quickly. Let's see.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Claim, reasoning, and example. That is correct. So claim, reasoning, and example is something that we're going to do a mock for today. Essentially, how it's going to look like is going to be, I am going to show you the motion, which is going to be like a practice motion. I hope by far you have, how many motions do you have by far with you? And are you preparing for it? APD. You all have 2 motions for APD? Is round 1 and round 2 motion same? Quickly. And Great. And round 3 motion is different. Correct. Wonderful. Okay. So you all already have your topics. We're not discussing those topics today because essentially if we discuss those topics, if there is no point of the competition, we'll all know the same things. Essentially, that's something that you're supposed to do by yourself. Research well, but understand the concepts here. So in order to understand and have better clarity of the concepts, I'm going to give you another mock topic, which is not the topic for 5th May. The topics for 5th May has already been released. So I'm going to give you another prep topic, and then you all have to identify claim, reasoning, and example for that topic. Okay. I hope with that we can start. Let me share my screen. So whoever has like good claims, good reasonings and examples, I will pick your name, and then you can also share it verbally with everyone so that everyone is able to appreciate it. Again, let's start with the schedule for y'all. Day after tomorrow, y'all are supposed to join in the Zoom call. The link is going to be sent to you shortly at 2:45 p.m. This is really, really important because we take attendance, and attendance essentially helps us know that you're there and you're going to participate. And then secondly, we're going to give you the draws. So which room you are supposed to go to, which side you are at, and all of that. So that's something we're going to
Ma'am, which room? What's the room called?
You will get to know about that on 5th. So don't worry. So rooms are basically breakout rooms, and don't worry about how to join breakout rooms as well, because we will put you in the breakout rooms. And then you will know which team is against you and which side you are for. This will happen for 3 rounds, and you are supposed to be here for all 3 rounds. Once your round is done, the judge is going to tell you the result on the spot. So first round, you will get to know whether you won or lost, and you will also get to know how you can improve on your speeches. Post that, you can leave and join back for the next round. That's how it's going to be done for till 8:30. So it's a long day and also a hectic day, but that's how competitive debating works. So you have to also get to like, get used to it, etc. But actually, like actual competitions actually like run for like 12 hours straight and all of that. So this is still very less. So keep yourself hydrated, keep like snacks around you, etc., etc. All right, so this is the schedule, all of which is going to happen online. All 3 rounds are mandatory to attend. All 3 rounds are also something that is going to be online. So all of these questions should not come now, okay? All right, so this is your topic. But for a second, can I know, do you guys know what traditional education system is? And what is, so you know how there is, so traditionally, we study from books, right? And we have a syllabus to complete. And your teachers actually tell you that, this is the syllabus. I'm going to complete these many chapters. This is what the chapter is going to cover. After each chapter, probably we're going to have a test, etc. That's traditional education system. Then we have a new education system where there are more activities, more learning systems through different ways based on how the students actually understand. So for example, laptop learning, or like, video games learning, innovative ways to actually learn. So there's modern learning, okay? So there are 2 types of learning. If one learning is, we should learn from books versus we should learn from online resources. Let's discuss about that topic, okay? So I'm going to put the motion in the chat box here, okay? Individual schools. So this is the motion. It is internet sources. So this is the topic. We're going to start searching for the motion first. So if you have any claims, essentially I'm looking for claim, reasoning, and example. Whoever has like the full-fledged explanation to it, I'm going to give you guys a chance to speak. So for the motion, everyone start putting in the chat box quickly. So We can reduce screen time is a claim. Vidita, also tell me how you would explain it. So what is the explanation to it? How can you give the example? So Vidita, I want you to go search online as to how much screen time does an average student have based on a particular research or a study quickly. And that's something that you can use in your example. Are there any other people who want to give their arguments as well in the chat box? Let's see.
Ma'am?
Oh, 1 hour. Structured learning. Textbooks are organized in structured manner with clear chapters and sections that guide students through material in a systematic manner. Okay, yes, that's true. But you also see, and I think that's a good argument, but you also see that, you know, it's a comparative motion, which means you're saying it's better than internet source. So you also need to tell as to why, for example, why internet source does not have structured learning. So what you can do is internet sources are basically open-ended, which means you have multiple websites to look to, which means individuals get confused as to which website to actually, you know, like click on, which website is actually reliable, credible. And also, even if you go to the website, it's likely that you would probably not get the actual information that you need. So that's something that you can do in order to make your argument complete. So you're not just saying that, you know what, textbooks are good, but you're also saying that textbooks are better than internet sources. So you also need to tell why internet source does not have the benefit. It can reduce chances of getting spectacles. So I think the argument essentially like a broad, so try to think of broader arguments, right? So the broader arguments could be that having excessive exposure to screen is bad for health. And then you can explain as to how it has bad health impacts in terms of your eyesight, in terms of your general mental health. A lot of students start to get or tend to get anxiety because of like multiple or like long-term usage of screen. So you can basically elaborate a lot of reasonings under the argument about health itself. So try to figure out like different points. And if you think all of these points can be clubbed together in one, and then you can make it a holistic argument, try to do that. Touch and feel of the book helps learn better. So I think, Myra, the way how to frame this one is going to be that books are more tangible, which gives you real life understanding of what is happening as opposed to intangible internet. Yes, Adriti, that's a very good argument. Like internet can be inappropriate sometimes. So, for example, there could be a lot of distractions online, but also like there could be a lot of like bugs or advertisements that you don't want to read or like listen to. So even if like you would want to know about digestive system online, on that website you would see other things that are not necessary. So that's a very good argument. You can probably explain it that way. Prisha says, explain chapters, unlike internet that gives us only summary of the chapter. Great. So textbooks tend to have in-depth knowledge of a particular subject. For example, you have a proper one book which is, let's say, about digestive system, or let's say about science in totality, or EVS, for example. But internet has so many things and so much diversity that it's likely that a lot of times it does not have full-fledged information. It just has it just will have a gist of some information and not the other. Yes, Maya, that's correct. When we get a lot of information, we get confused. So you can explain as to why a lot of information is also harmful for individuals. Wonderful, Vivan. I think that's a very good study. So I think what Vivan has said, and I'm going to probably tag it down because it's really good. If you, Vivan, can you send it again? That'll be great. Otherwise, I'll just put it again. So this one is basically an example of how you can elaborate your argument and also use it as an example. For example, if I'm saying that individuals should not watch or individuals should not learn from internet, and I'm saying that it's bad, it has bad health impacts, I can use this example and say that, you know, students basically spend a lot of time on internet, which is not good for their health. Internet can be inappropriate. Yes, language could be inappropriate a lot of times. So for example, textbooks oftentimes they're not are very age friendly. So you would know that, you know, this is good for, let's say, primary student or like secondary student and so on and so forth. But when you see things like internet sources, it's just made for everyone. So you can also get access to probably something that is made by a college student, and probably because anyone can put anything on internet, right? So a lot of times you would probably not even understand what they're trying to say because the language is probably very complicated. Okay, I think I've learned a lot for the motion. Let's go against the motion now. So why internet sources are better than textbooks in the chat box now, quickly. Pariniti, yes, that's true. Let's see how many of y'all know arguments against. So you can access knowledge from across the world. That is good. Yes. So you have diversity of information. Why is it good? That individual can learn anything and everything about the same topic. It enhances the amount of topic that you have. It again is good because again, you're building up your knowledge. Good argument. Then we have easy to access. That's also good. Oftentimes and not, books aren't something that you can access because again, books can be extremely expensive. Books can also be again, you can't keep a lot of books, but internet is just like a search away. Swastika, yes, cost effectiveness is a great argument. I think you can always make a comparative on saying as to why books are lesser, like books are expensive, internet is probably not. Also like a lot of times, I think the time when like a lot of times you also get like subsidies, right? And I think you can probably also get subsidies on textbooks. So an argument you can learn, use both sides. It is easy to learn from internet. I think the explanation to why it is easier to learn from internet could be that books oftentimes and not don't even have pictures. But when it comes to internet, it's easier because I think a lot of times you have a lot of pictures, graphs. You also have a lot of videos to support what the books are, like what the content is. We can use some AI generated tools to make us understand textbooks sometimes. Yes, it's long and boring a lot of times. That's correct. Current information, internet sources. Okay, that's also true. So a lot of time what ends up happening is that you have like volumes and editions of books, and you can't keep having all these volumes and books of books, etc. So in that sense, what you can actually do is rather than having books, which has to be updated and has to be published, you can go to internet because again, it is readily accessible in terms of quick information and quick changes as well.
Afri, I just want to have a quick chat with one student, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Shambhavi, I saw your message. We can't see you in the debate team, Shambhavi. I think you registered for Turncoat because all the teams have already been created and circulated.
I'm in APD. I applied for APD.
Please drop a text at hello because you're not on APD. We've already taken the attendance 2 days back and the teams are already created and set on the system now. So we won't check it over here, but I'm just telling you, I replied to your comment. So you must please call the number after the call, okay? Or just text them.
Okay, Rohana, I love what you are saying in terms of how it is quick to give you answers. Love the example as well. Good job. Yeah, so I think it also elaborates what Nandini is saying. You can basically, it's not as time consuming because if you want to learn a thing from a book, you need to learn, like read the entire thing, but internet can give you the exact information that you need. It is more interactive, yes. That is also correct. Internet can also help you understand through Google Translator. Yes, all of that is great. Okay, you guys are doing good job. I love how you all are at least able to figure out what the claims are. And that's the first step for you to be able to make arguments. So the second step is, how do I explain it? How do I give logical reasoning? And if I have reasoning and explanation, the next step is to be able to give examples. So for example, I'll probably find a research that finds that, when students learn from internet, they learn faster. That could be one. The second one could be, when students learn from internet, they tend to get distracted. So I will find research that proves that. Why do I need to have a research? Because it's not my personal opinion. People have actually researched about it, like credible institutes, etc., have actually gone out, took surveys, have like observed people, and then come to the conclusion that yes, that is true. So that is also something that you can do. But also, again, you can give statistics. So 90% of people who do well in exams probably study from internet, for example. So that is also very credible for me to know. I think this is why examples are very important. But when I say examples are very important, what is the most important part of an argument, real quick, in the chat box? Yes, reasoning, that's correct. So you still have to give explanation first and then example. Example gives you scores for matter. And remember your score for three things: matter, manner, and method. So I think with that, we have arguments for both sides. I want to quickly give you guys the time to ask me any last minute questions that you're probably going to ask later. But any more questions if you have for APD, I will take them now. Because again, you have your rounds on 5th. Adriti, go on.
Ma'am, I just had one question that, like, in the qualifiers round on 5th May, if like if one or two people from the whole team gets they pass the whole all the 3 rounds, will the whole team be selected or just
Yes.
those people?
So yes, so in APD, as I said, it's a team event. You qualify as a team. It's not speaker wise. So if your team collectively does well, that's when you qualify. Okay. All right, Vivan.
Team 11, I've just given you the number to contact, please. Ayushman, I've just put a number, just text over there for Arnab Mohi. I'm just one thing, Afreen, I just want to make sure you all are in touch with your teams, right? You all are practicing together? Okay, because we send out a number to a lot of people that have taken attendance. So
ma'am, I'm not able to get my number.
Anybody who has any problems in terms of finding their team member, I'm just putting a number that you can text on, okay? You don't have to call them because they are very busy, but you can just text them and let them know that you need any help. Okay, here. This is the number for Hello Audio. Here. I've just put it again. Okay. Sorry, Afreen. Carry on, please.
Do we have to say against or for everyone? You have to prepare a speech for the motion and against the motion. For the motion that has been given to you, all the motions, which means prepare irrespective. On the spot, we will tell you whether you're for or against and which round. Based on that, take out that speech and read it out. That's how it is going to be done. You can speak from sheets. So APD is not a public speaking event. It's a debate event. In debates, you can speak from sheets. But again, it's always great to, have thorough understanding of what your arguments are. Do not continuously read the argument. That's not good. You're again marked based on style, etc. So yes.
Miss, I was speaking.
Yes, Vivan.
Will we be judged as a team, or will we be individually judged, and then will all the scores be seen?
Yes, that's what I meant. I said collective performance of the team.
Collective.
Ma'am, can I?
Okay.
Ma'am, can I ask a question?
Khyati, go on.
Ma'am, do we have to say a motion and against in only 3 minutes?
For 3 minutes, against also 3 minutes.
So total we will get 6 minutes.
In a round, you're either speaking as a team for the motion, and in another round, if you've done for, then next round you'll do against. So yes, 6 minutes. 3 minutes, we just.
Ma'am,
I'm going to stop recording and